All right, so welcome to the deep dive where, we take your sources and we figure out like what's actually going on. And today is super interesting. I mean, look, we've got descriptions, social media, a whole pile of voiceover scripts. It's like, wow.
It is quite the collection, and it all points to this new kid on the block, a video player. It's called MarkerFlow. And our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to figure this thing out. What is it? How does it work? And the big one, how can it help with, video editing, whether you're just starting out or you've, been doing this for years?
Right. And the thing that really caught my eye with all these voiceover scripts and like everyone's talking about how this could like revolutionize the way we like approach footage like before we even open up our big editing software.
And that's a really key point to consider. I mean, think about the pain points in video editing, right? So much time is just spent getting organized. You're scrubbing through hours of footage, trying to find those, perfect in and out points, labeling everything. I mean, honestly, it can feel like you're spending more time prepping than actually editing.
Totally. Like half your life just disappears trying to like get ready to actually edit. So yeah, a tool that could like streamline that whole process. Sign me up, right?
Absolutely. So, first things first, what exactly is MarkerFlow?
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, it looks like, okay, it is a video player, but it's designed to, well, make the whole video editing thing way faster. But it's more than just watching videos, right?
Right. MarkerFlow's big thing is letting you mark those in and out points directly on the video, like while it's playing. And these aren't, just simple bookmarks. You can color code them, so you're kind of, visually talking to your footage. I mean, that's how some of these voiceover scripts describe it.
Oh, that's interesting. So like adding that color coding from the beginning makes it super organized, right?
Exactly. Like, think of it as this bridge between just watching the raw footage and diving deep into your, timeline in Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve or whatever you're using.
Gotcha. So it's for everyone, basically, like beginners, pros, everyone.
Totally. It's for, well, anyone who wants to make their editing life easier.
Cool. Cool. So, okay, let's talk features. Like, what makes this thing actually tick? I mean, speed and efficiency, that seems to be like the core thing everyone's talking about.
It's all about getting you to the good stuff faster, right? And these voiceovers are all about this on-the-fly marking. So no more pausing, rewinding, going frame by frame. You can watch the footage like a normal person and, just mark those points as you go.
Right. And then there's this whole XML thing.
Yes, the XML integration. This is, I think, where things get really interesting.
Yeah, it seems like some kind of secret weapon. Like I was reading through these descriptions and listening to those voiceovers, and it just hit me. This could seriously change how we prep for edits, especially if you're, trying to tweak something you've already started.
The cool thing about MarkerFlow is how it uses XML. Think of XML as like a data file that remembers everything you do in MarkerFlow. Your in points, your out points, the colors you used to, label things, and like the social media posts. They're specifically talking about how this works seamlessly with Premiere Pro. So yeah, it's a big deal.
So we're talking about an XML file. Okay, now I'm seeing these voiceover scripts calling it a digital blueprint, a digital logbook, even smart metadata. Now, for someone who's about to dive into editing a video, what does that actually look like?
Right. I mean, they all get at the same basic idea. Basically, this XML file, it's a set of instructions for your editing software. Like VoiceOver 1 called it a blueprint, right? Because it tells your NLE exactly where each cut should be and what kind of shot it is based on, the color coding. And then you have VoiceOver 2 calling it a logbook, which, makes sense. It's a complete record of all the decisions you made while you were reviewing the footage in MarkerFlow. And then smart metadata, like that's from VoiceOver 3. And I think that gets at the fact that this isn't just raw data. It's like information your editing software can actually use to build a timeline.
So it's not just like this clip starts here and ends there. The XML also knows about the colors I used in MarkerFlow, right? Like if I tagged all my wide shots blue and all my close-up green.
Exactly. Like VoiceOver 1 is very clear on that point. So, you've got your colors all set up in MarkerFlow, and that information goes right into the XML file. And then, like VoiceOver 2 says, it's almost like an SRT file for subtitles. It's separate, but it tells the other program, in this case your NLE, how to like read the footage based on what you did in MarkerFlow.
Okay, so now, like, the big payoff here is that, and VoiceOver 3 was really excited about this, your editing software can take this XML file and just, like, automatically build a rough cut based on all those in and out points and colors you set in MarkerFlow.
Boom. Instant rough cut. No more dragging and dropping individual clips. The software just does it for you. And the cool part, like a bunch of the voiceovers 1, 2, 4, and 5, they all said this, it's non-destructive. So your original footage is totally safe. You're just telling the software how you want to use it.
Okay, that's super important. So if I decide to change a cut later, my original footage is still good to go. Nice. Okay, let's talk about those color-coded markers. Like, they seem so simple, but these social media posts are all about how powerful they are for precision editing and finding, like, those key moments.
Oh, yeah. Our brains love visuals. I mean, we process visual information so much faster than text. So by using colors to represent different types of shots or takes or, whatever you want, you're basically creating this like visual language for your project. And that makes it so much easier to like stay organized and remember what's what when you're actually editing. Like you can see all your interview segments in one color, all your B-roll in another. It just makes sense visually.
I'm also seeing this idea of MarkerFlow being like lightweight. Voiceovers 2, 5, and 10 especially, like they talk about turning your laptop into a powerhouse editing machine, which is cool, especially if you don't have, top-of-the-born hardware.
Yeah, and those struggle voiceovers, numbers 1 through 5, they really paint a picture of how frustrating it is to edit on a slow computer. Like, it could be so painful. But, MarkerFlow, it gets around that by doing all the heavy lifting, the reviewing and marking and organizing in this separate app. So basically, you can do a lot of the prep work on like a basic laptop before even opening up your fancy editing software.
So like I could rough out my whole edit on my laptop with MarkerFlow and then like move that XML file to a more powerful computer to do the fancy stuff like color grading and effects.
That's the idea. Or, even if you have a killer computer already, it can still speed things up because you can make all those decisions without having to like wrestle with your NLE's timeline.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's like imagine some real world examples. Like how would different editors use this? VoiceOver 1 was talking about how beginners could use it to pre-cut their footage before even diving into, the craziness of a professional NLE.
Yeah, for someone just starting out, those big NLEs can be like super scary. So many buttons and menus. But MarkerFlow, it's a much simpler way to like learn the basics. You can make your rough cuts, get everything organized, and then it's like way less intimidating to open up Premiere or whatever and start actually editing.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about like seasoned pros? How would they use MarkerFlow?
So for a pro, it's all about saving time, especially in that initial review phase. Like instead of scrubbing through hours of footage in their NLE, they can do it way faster in MarkerFlow, mark everything up, and then boom, they've got a perfectly organized XML file ready to go so they can spend more time on the creative stuff and less time on the, tedious stuff.
And then there's Campaign 5, which talks about using this for like team projects, like sharing the XML file with marked footage and notes.
Yeah, collaboration, that's a big one. Imagine like a director watching dailies. They can go through it in MarkerFlow, mark the takes they like, add notes, even color code things to give specific feedback. Then they send that XML to the editor, and the editor knows exactly what the director wants. So much smoother, right?
And Social Media Post 3 mentioned something I hadn't thought about, like using MarkerFlow to tweak edits after you've already exported from your main editor.
Right. Like imagine you send a rough cut to a client, and they have some notes. Instead of opening up your whole project, which can take forever, you could load that exported video into MarkerFlow. And, assuming it lets you adjust markers or add new ones based on the exported video, you can make those changes, export a new XML, and then use that to update your original project. So much faster than re-rendering everything.
Cool. Okay, so what about the future? Like, where is this thing going? From the looks of it, MarkerFlow is working on Windows first, but Social Media Post 10 mentioned plans for macOS and Linux versions.
Yeah, cross-platform compatibility is huge. So many editors are on macOS, and Linux is popular too, especially in certain professional settings. So expanding beyond Windows is definitely the right move.
And the best part, they're actively asking for feedback. Like social media post 10 was all about how they want editors to tell them what features they want, which, shows that they're actually listening to the people who are going to use it.
Absolutely, that's a good sign. It means they're not just building this in a vacuum. They're trying to make something that actually solves real problems for real editors.
Okay, so wrapping it all up, it seems like MarkerFlow could be a real game changer for video editing. It's got this whole new approach with the visual marking and the XML integration, and all those voiceover scripts really helped us understand how it's supposed to work and like how much time it could save.
It's all about making editing more efficient and more intuitive. And for you, the listener, that means faster edits, better organization, and a smoother transition into your favorite NLE. It tackles all those annoying things about traditional editing, especially when you're dealing with a ton of footage or, you don't have the world's best computer. And yeah, those voiceovers really hit those points home.
So here's something to think about. If we can use visual marking and XML to streamline the editing process, what other parts of video production could we improve with the same ideas? Like, what about sound design, or color correction, or visual effects? Could MarkerFlow's approach spark some innovation in other areas?
No, that is a great question. I mean, who knows what the future holds, right? But it's definitely exciting to think about how these ideas could change the way we create videos.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your sources and for joining us on this deep dive into MarkerFlow. We hope you found it interesting. And until next time, happy editing.
MarkerFlow. Watch, mark, edit, simplified.